Аз днеска съм абсолютно несериозна с външният си вид. С тези очила, но любовта кипи и ври и така нататък. Какво се случва? Как сте? Наблюдавам ви в Twitch през акаунта на Evil Queen, така че трябва да се чуете дали съм аз, дали е тя. Ако някой е по-лош от този акаунт, значи сигурно съм аз. Но както и да е. Да минем малко на вълна музика. Видях, че много от вас забелязаха във Фейсбук какво се очаква днес в предаването от моя страна. Хайпа е истински. Искам да видя всички дута в Фейсбук, в Twitch и в Twitter и навсякъде, защото тази седмица ви представям интервю с една от най-големите звезди в денс музиката от 90-те години. Както се казва, дето и баба го знае. Много от вас, които са по-малки, всъщност също са чували за него. Ако не сте чували за него, като чуете Sunstorm, 100% ще се сетите. Така че ето да видим малко гледната точка на един човек, който е преминал през много различни моменти от развитието на музикалната култура. Така че насладете се на интервюто и ще се видим отново след малко.
Здравейте от мен ви, намираме се в Амстердам по време на най-голямата музикална конференция Amsterdam Dance Event, която всъщност празнува и своята 20-та годишнина. И тъй като това е една такава много голяма годишнина, решихме да поставим и фокус върху един артист, който наистина има много история в електронната музика като цяло. Представям ви Darude. Hi, it is very nice to meet you. I assume a lot of our viewers have grown up with the electronic music that you used to do before and continue to listen until today. How's ADE so far?
Hi, and ADE has been great. So I think this is my maybe 10th year or something.
10th year.
Maybe even more than that. But yeah, I love coming here. I've had a very relaxed schedule this time. Yeah. So yesterday I only had 2 meetings, and then I went to see. At Paradiso, Oliver Heldens and a couple of other DJs, and just had a nice night. Today, a couple of meetings, and what I mostly love about the ADE and other festivals or conferences like this is just bumping into people. Yeah, you've met before, and then random people introduce you to, or your friends introduce you to new ones, and making the connections like that. That's what this is all about.
And like you said, you've been to ADE for over 10 years now. How do you see it grow? How different is it from 10 years ago, for example?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely grown. There's, many more venues where you have the panels, and I like a lot of the. I like to see the panels, but then sometimes it's conflicting, which ones you want to go to, and they're on top of each other. But it's very good information, because always it's the best ones or the top people in the field of the industry, whether it's publishing, whether it's broadcasting, whatever it is. So that's what I like most here, and I think they've made an effort year after year to bring the best people, and it's grown, and that's why it's also difficult sometimes to choose where you're going, because there's so much. I think, I don't know, it actually feels to me a little less chaotic. I don't know if it's less busy than last year, but it's less chaotic to me. Maybe because I think they've expanded to a couple of other venues now as well, with the panel rooms and also where people meet up. So maybe that's helped there. Because last year a couple of times I felt a little, claustrophobic sometimes. But from 10 years ago, obviously we're now at something like 150 or whatever parties happening during the ADE. Just a couple of years ago, I remember it was like 70 or something, and I think back in the day it was probably like 10 or 15 or something like that. So
yeah, it's actually over 400 now.
Oh, it's 400?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, have you venues? I think 170 venues, maybe. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Have you actually hosted a panel? If you haven't, would you? And what would it be about?
You know what? I'm going to show my stupidity or bad memory, because I've hosted a couple. Well, not hosted, but I've taken a part. I think it was actually here several years ago about publishing regarding dance music, like sync possibilities and stuff like that. I was asked to do or be a part of a panel, and then I also I have a record company called NMAS Music with a buddy of mine, Randy Boyer from Connecticut, U.S., and we had a party 3 years ago, I think. We hosted a party of our own here, and that's also, of course, one of the things that an artist wants to do here, or a record company. And there's also a huge amount of competition there. So, but Amsterdam is like the perfect place to do it because there are so many venues here that where you can do those things.
And I think there's enough people as a crowd for everything, really. There's not been a single event so far that hasn't been packed with people. So many people.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. There's, well, one of the changes is that originally it was only industry people who came here and who exchanged their cards and did this and that, but now party people come here during the conference because of all the DJs are here and the festival events are so big.
Okay. You released an album now in August, right?
Yes.
And your first album actually sold maybe over 1 million copies after the release of Sandstorm and stuff. What is it to have an album today, and what is it like to have an album more than 15 years ago? The industry has changed so much.
Industry has changed, absolutely. It's for me as an artist, it still feels the same. I made an album thinking of a bunch of tracks that have something in common, although my album now is quite varied. There's very different sounds from track to track, but it's something that I grew up listening albums, so I listened to it first, straight through, and then there's a couple of tracks that you start liking, a couple of you don't.
Yes.
You listen to it 20 times over because you paid good money for it, then you actually start liking the whole thing, and it's a concept. So that's what I like about releasing an album. But yeah, the music industry definitely has gone to single tracks mostly, and then maybe after you've released 10 or 12, then you put them together, and then they say that that's an album, whether it's a bunch of things that you think belong together or not. You just like gather them up and now it's an album. But obviously the challenges are on the sales side of it. Like it's nowadays the sales are very, very difficult and small in numbers, but at the same time we have internet, we have social media, and we have different ways of measuring your success these days. And for me, it's of course, I mean, with my album, I've been able to gather some blog traction, have had good reviews and stuff like that, and also it shows in the industry of my bookings and stuff like that. So I've been very happy with the feedback that I've gotten for the album.
Like you said, sales are very difficult these days. Do you think that nowadays you have no chance of actually making a living only from the sales, and you have to go on tours and stuff, while as before it was more like you could actually make a living just from sitting, making music and selling it on, like, out there in records, not online, but in actual records?
Well, obviously that also depends if you are successful. Like, I mean, it wasn't directly that you will be making money if you make records. I mean, you have to be successful in some way so that people know to go and buy those records. It's the same these days, but yes, you're right. The capitalizing on your success is different these days. There's very little money in dance music, especially in record sales. When you're talking about a pop scale, talking about, I don't know, the Christina Aguileras of the world or whatever, maybe they sell enough to make a living out of that, but very few dance music artists do. So it's touring, it's merchandise, it's the brand, it's like corporate connections, maybe, sponsorship deals, whatever, where you actually will make a living if you get to that level of success.
And what do you think of the fact that how popular the entire electronic music has become? Like electronic music is everywhere these days. So commercial.
It's.
Do you support that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you
It's
do?
crazy.
Good.
It's crazy good. Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. And I mean, obviously, I'm thinking you're looking into there's so much cheese or whatever, like commercialized. But I don't think that is a bad thing because the more dance music there is out there, the more listeners will get, and then once they get in it, then they can start looking into the things that they really like, and they start getting into their deep houses and this and that, and more refined things if that's what they want. So I think the more the merrier.
And just to step out a little bit of the music scene, I know that you love to play games. You played at TwitchCon. You actually had a coffee run with Deadmau5 as well, who's also a very big gamer. What's your favorite game to play?
Solitaire.
No, I don't believe that. Come on.
You know what? I'm actually not that big of a gamer. I'm more getting into it now, and I did a Counter-Strike sound pack. Called gets named after my album called Moments, and I'm honest about it. I'm not really a gamer. Of course, I've played a game here and there, but I couldn't even name a favorite game because that wouldn't be fair. Of course, I know the Counter-Strikes, Dotas, all names, but then people are going to be asking, "What's your rank?" Blah blah blah. What's your name? I'm really not there, but I'm looking into it, and it's a very interesting world because music and tech and gaming really go hand in hand. So we're looking into that right now, and I mean, music is such a big part of young culture as well, and a lot of gamers are young. So I want to I want to learn about that, and I want to be involved in that.
Perfect. So we have a Deadmau5 Dota sound pack. Now we have Counter-Strike with a sound pack by Darude. So see, electronic music is going everywhere.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of AD, and best of luck. We're hoping that there's going to be more Sunstorm-like successes in the future.
Me too.
Evergreen.
Thank you.
Thank you.